Hi everyone, welcome in. This is your weekly card class from Maine. I'm just checking to make sure that I'm live. This is Julie Maxon, the Maine Stamper. I am here for your weekly card class, and we are shaking it up this week. We are moving on from hearts. So last week we did the Country Bouquet card class, and thank you to all of you who put in an order to qualify for those card kits. I am actually waiting for one more delivery of some designer series paper, hopefully tomorrow, so that I can finish cutting the kits, because I had more orders than I anticipated and I didn't have enough paper for the designer series paper. So they will be going out probably tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, but you're going to get some really awesome card kits by the end of the week. I will also be emailing you the PDF directions, the card recipes. Go to you directly. Trying to see if I have copies of them. I got stuffs everywhere. So you're getting, this is what the card recipe looks like. If you're wondering, what are these card recipes you speak of? So there's a picture on the side over here, picture of the finished card, the actual dimensions of the card, the everything that went into the card, item numbers and all that, and then kind of some quick directions. Now, of course, your card class is this Facebook Live. So, and then it's on YouTube as well. So if you ordered the Country Bouquet card class, you can use that paper, or you can just rewatch my video from last Monday. And that's what we're doing again today. Except today we are screaming for ice cream. These cards are the sweetest cards ever. Look at how cute they, look at the pretty pictures on the back, right? Do these look like ice cream colors to you? Because they should. These are super sugary sweet. So I'm going to kind of give you a sneak peek. I know my lighting's not the best. I did share this one already though over on Positive Paper Crafters. Oh man, sorry about the light here. I probably should have checked that out. But check out this cute little ice cream card. Now, this is not one that we're making today, but this is one that I shared. I always share a couple of bonus cards during the week to inspire you further to really think about what this bundle that I'm going to focus on, what you can do with it, because there's so many amazing things. There's so many ideas, and I don't want to just limit it to 3 cards and say, well, that's it, everybody. So I will share some extra cards as well. Hi, Lori. Hi, Jess. Glad you guys are here. Make sure you're saying hi as you jump on. I love to know who's with me in the craft room. And let's get over to my workspace. We're going to talk a little bit more about card kits, card classes, all of the good things. Make sure you have your bowl of ice cream handy if you need one. We did quite a bit of discussing on ice cream topics. Now, before we dive into our Share a Milkshake bundle, which is really, really fun, I just want to talk about the Country Bouquet. This is what we worked with last week. We worked with the stamp set, we worked with the punch, and I did a weekly class, but I'm also doing a monthly class with this kit. So these are the cards that are in the kit, and this is still available to order up until the 15th. So you're going to get 2 of each of these cards to do, and you're also going to get designer series paper, ribbons, embellishments. I love this one with the little hearts that go up to the butterfly there. So I use the little heart from this punch on this one. So if you're interested in this monthly class, this is my monthly class for January. It's available for sign up through January 15th again. It's $39.95. You're getting half a pack of designer series paper. You are getting embellishments. You're getting ribbon, getting all kinds of good stuff, and the card kits, 2 of each. This was the other bonus card that I did featuring the Country Bouquet. And I just kind of wanted to show you this a little bit, because sometimes it's just kind of, you can kind of get a better scope maybe if I'm holding it. But these are the rainbow hearts I did. They were quite popular, and I just love this card, so I just wanted to kind of share that with you one more time. And now we're going to skip ahead to our weekly class. Now this class is this week, right? So this class, if you put in qualifying order $35 or more, you are going to get these card kits in the mail. So this is what the card kits are going to look like. We're going to go through them tonight. You're getting 2 of each card, so 2 of each of the designs that I'm making tonight. And again, during the week I will show you bonus cards so you can see other ideas with this kit. But this is what you're getting with your $35 order using my host code. So you have to use my specific host code, and this offer expires on Friday night at midnight, and then I'm going to run another class next week. So you kind of are getting into the rhythm here. Now, if you order a $50 order this week, I'm going to throw in the Opaque Adhesive-Backed Gems for free, and you're also going to get Sale-A-Bration freebie too. So of course, $50, you're getting a Sale-A-Bration freebie, and you're getting these from me. So each week when I offer my card kits, they're free with $35 purchase for 6 card kits. And then if you go to 50, you're getting the little sequins or adhesives or maybe ribbon or twine. It depends on what we're using on the card, but I am using these items on all 3 of our cards tonight. So when you get your card kits, the gems are not in here. I'm not including gems. You can get those with your $50 order, or you can use whatever you have at home. And I'm also not going to die cut anything that has to do with this bundle. So I'm going to show you a couple, at least one really nice workaround, so you can still get the card kits and not use the stamp set and this particular set of dies if that's what you don't want to do. You don't have to use this. You can use these card kits and create your own things and be super creative and make beautiful cards just the same. But if you have this or you're getting this, you will have all of the pieces in here to die cut out what you need. And here is our first card tonight. So I'm going to get this up here so you guys can see it. Now this is really, really cool because we're actually going to talk about a paper technique as well when we talk about this card tonight. So this will be this paper pack right here. I'm going to set these other ones aside into my pile of messiness, and let's pack up the boat for just a second. We're going to flip to page 12 of the January to April mini, and we're going to see the Share a Milkshake bundle is in here. They also have some really cute samples. Those Opaque Adhesive-Backed Gems are in here too. A lot of their samples, they used the same paper that we used last week from the Country Floral Lane and the Country Gingham Designer Series paper, but I went a whole different direction because sometimes I like to go whole different directions. Now this stamp set is photopolymer. I have a ton of them already mounted up, so there's really not very many left on my sheet here. I have lots of them mounted up already. We're going to be doing some stamping. Let me get a sip here. Oh, it's awfully dry. I could really use some ice cream. You guys all talked about all the toppings you're going to bring me on our Facebook page. Now I'm really wanting ice cream. These are the dies that go with, and they are so adorable. So we are going to actually be using this die right here. It kind of creates this waffle cone, or in my card that I shared earlier, you can make it look like an ice cream cone. Doesn't that look like an ice cream cone? So here's the difference between the two. I mean, they're same die, different color paper. You can have an ice cream cone. This is with Pale Papaya cardstock, and this is with crumb cake to get the waffle color. Obviously, how you stack your ice cream really does create a different look as well. So that's really, really fun. So let's get into this card. I'm going to show you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to share with you this technique. So when you get your card kit at home, this is what you're getting. You're getting 2 card bases. Now I'm not scoring them for you, so you're going to have to score them. You're getting 2 card bases. You're getting 2 envelopes, and you're getting all of this. This is, okay, there's the envelope. So you're getting all of these things, and then you're creating with me. So you're going to get this cute little punch piece right here. That's already a thing. These are going to be die cuts for the bundle. So you're getting the paper, but they're not going to be die cut for you. Everything else, I've got you some circles. I've got you some vellum and a little scallop. Let me separate these because we're doing 1 card today. I'm not doing 2 cards today. Let's see. Let me see. We want one of these, one of these. You're getting some fresh freezers, some cherry cobbler. We're going to talk about this awesome designer series paper. This is where I said I went a little rogue, and I flipped it up a little bit, changed it around. I love to do that. All right, I think I have everything I need for this card. Let me set aside one of these and all of this, and try not to lose the parts and pieces because they're valuable parts and pieces. I'm actually going to bring in my trimmer real quick. We're going to need my trimmer for this anyway, but I would like to have a bigger workspace. You know, when I get everything out like this and I'm all ready to go for class, there's like no room left for me. Like I have no room at the end. All right, I'm going to just score this. I like to score my my paper with my trimmer, my cardstock, not with the cutting blade. We're going to move that one out of the way. We're going to go to 4 1/4. I'm just going to score that, and I just feel like it's way easier to manipulate your paper that way. And then I'm going to find a bone folder here and just reinforce that nice crease line right there. Okay, so now I've got my awesome card base, and we are rocking and rolling, and we're going to talk a little bit about this technique, which is called look, another sample. This is called the Stack, Shuffle, Repeat. And if you're interested in checking out a video that I did on my YouTube page, I actually covered this in March of 2022. So March of last year, I did an entire video on the Stack, Shuffle, Repeat. I might have had more directions on there. I did up a quick thing right here. So you can take a screenshot of this. It's going to be kind of really simple. I'm going to go through and show you. This is one that I had done to kind of talk a little bit about Stack, Shuffle, Repeat. And this is the look that we're getting. So this is just an unfinished card. This is just the designer series paper laid out. Obviously retired because it's no longer Christmas. And this is from last Christmas, I think a year ago. And this is what we're doing today. So you're going to see the same pattern, and I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about all of these fun papers and patterns. Now, when you get your kit, you're going to have a mix of, because I'm going to Stack, Shuffle, Repeat for you. So you're going to have all kinds of papers. So you're going to be able to, at home, decide how you want to use these on your card. You can flip them around. So they're basically going to look like this, or it could look like this. So you can see that there's different designs here, right? So you've got two completely different designs. And if you wanted to, ooh, that's really orange. Maybe you don't want to flip that one over. Maybe you want a little extra purple. Maybe you want some polka dots. So you can see that you can flip some of these over. Trying to see which ones are which, and you can create different patterns, but you're using 4 pieces of paper and you're creating that really cool card front. So when you get your card kits at home, you're going to have a variety that you are going to be able to play with, which is really fun. So I wanted to kind of go over with you, how do you do Stack, Shuffle, Repeat? Because it is really an awesome thing to do. So what you need is 4 pieces of designer series paper, 4 by 5 1/4. So this is our card base, right? So if you took one of these, this is just your basic first matte layer, 4 by 5 1/4. Now you want some that are going to go together nicely, and this is so crazy. So I pulled in, well, first of all, I am loving this Dandy Designs paper. This is huge honkin' pack of paper. Lots of these papers would be perfect for this technique. You have a ton of them. So I pulled in a little bit of paper from there. But I also pulled in some paper from the Enjoy the Journey. You can see this paper right here. This kind of looked ice creamy to me, so I pulled in some of that. I also pulled in this paper right here, also kind of ice creamy to me. Delicate Desert, totally different designer series papers. If you're flipping through the catalog, you might think of them as entirely different papers, but now you're going to look at them and you're going to see ice cream, and you're welcome. Okay, so 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put these all together in our trimmer at the same time, and we are going to put it in this, let's see, can you guys see? 4 inches. So my 4 inches is right here. So we're going to put it in here with the 4 inches at the top, the long is coming down the bottom, and we're going to cut this at 2 3/4. So I'm just going to move this over to 2 3/4. This is where it's a little bit tricky because you got to be confident in your cutting. All right, so it's at 2 3/4, and I'm going to cut it down and up. And hopefully it cut all of them. It did. So this is what you've got. You've got 2 stacks right here. So I'm going to set this little skinny stack aside. I'm going to rotate my paper this way, and I'm going to cut 3 inches. So right here, it's at 3. I'm cutting 3, and I'm going to just leave them just like this in their like original form. And I'm going to bring in my skinny stack right here. And I'm going to go the long way with it. So right here it's showing the long way. This is a 5 1/4 inch length. We're going to cut this at 2 inches. So I'm going to put this in here at 2. Kind of straighten them up a little bit. And here's my 2. All right, so now this is where we do the shuffle repeating. Okay, so you're going to line these up just like they would be on the card, right? So you've got the 4 different designs, just like so. I'll bring in this one. This one might be easier to see right now because it's contrasting. So you've got the big square here, you've got the medium square here. I should call them rectangles. The small skinny rectangle, the long one. This is where you have to shuffle, stack, repeat. So you're going to take this pile right here and you're going to put 1 to the back and leave that one up. Then on this pile you're going to do 2 to the back and leave that guy up. And on this pile you're going to do 3. So 1, 2, 3. And on the 4th pile you're going to just leave it. That says keep. So I've got them, you start here 1, 2, 3, 4. You go around clockwise and you keep the last pile like this. Now if you take all of these off the top, you have 4 different papers to work with, and this is one card. And then you take all of these ones off the top, and you have 4 different papers to work with, and you've got another card, and then so on and so forth, right? So you've got 4 different fun card designs. Oh, I kind of like this one. Yes, that is different from my original. I think we're going to use this one. We're going to stick with this one. So I wanted to show you stack, shuffle, repeat. How fun is that? How easy is that? And how ready are you to do some stack, shuffle, repeating? Because really, it is just that simple. So that is a little bit about stack, shuffle, repeat. Now we have our card base. So the first thing we're going to do is glue these babies down. Oh, look at that one. Okay. Wait a minute. No. That's really bold. That is really pretty though. I don't know, you guys. I think I got to go with this one. I'm gonna be a little bit more consistent. So we're gonna glue that down. It was really pretty. That was like a wow pretty, right? Like a sunset vibrant. All right. So when these go on, I have a little bit of glue on my finger. These are gonna go on. You're gonna leave that just that little matting, just like you would normally when you're adding your layers. So they can go on. Don't worry if they're like slightly crooked. We put a lot of stuff on these cards. That is kind of my secret ingredient. I layer lots of things on, so if something is crooked, maybe you don't notice it because there's so much to look at, right? That's one of my funnest things to do. Okay, so just like that, glued down, really pretty, and it's beautiful, right? And then we're gonna decorate. So I brought in a little bit of freesia and a little bit of cherry. We're going to actually layer these down too. This is going to come up here at the top, and our little sentiment's going to come over here, but it's just kind of helping to bring some nice continuity into this card with all of these colors. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the top of my fresh freesia, and I'm going to kind of stack these together, offsetting. The cherry's at the top. It's a little bit shorter. You can see that's a little bit shorter. And I'm going to just bring this in here, put some glue on the back now, and lay this down. Now this is going to be the same length as this square, which I think was 2 3/4. So there we go. Easy peasy. All right, so you have in your little kit here, now you've got this really nice little thing for a sentiment. We're gonna talk about the die cuts here, but you've got a petal pink circle and a piece of vellum. Now I stacked them this way so that it's on here and it's a little bit more opaque. And I'm just going to actually put a little bit of glue here in the middle of my petal pink. I'm going to put this vellum over top, kind of center it, and the sticky glue that's in the middle here will eventually be covered up by my little ice cream waffle cones, so no one will see this blob of glue that's holding this together. This one can go on with some dimensionals. I'm just trying to get some parts and pieces out of the way so that we can carry on here with our ice cream. Ooh, a brand new sheet of dimensionals. This is exciting. Exciting times today. All right, so I'm going to put 4 on there. Nice little circle. And we're going to go ahead and pop this on our card too. So it's just going to get things out of the way. And we're going to kind of center it a little bit here. Just like that. And we have a beautiful little sentiment piece here. And this one's going to say, "You're the cherry on top." We didn't even talk about sentiments. We've got "Life is sweeter with you," celebrate, "You're the cherry on top," and then of course, "Be my Valentine." So this could be, I didn't even make a Valentine's card with these cards today. I used everything but. I was very hearted out after working with all of the country bouquet last week and getting my card class of the month ready. And I was like, I did a ton of Valentine's cards. So this time I just went completely non-Valentine's. You know, of course, these are sweet colors. You could definitely do that too. So I've got "You're the Cherry" on top. It fits really nicely on this really funny, I almost think it's funny looking. This reminds me of like a pillow, and I don't know why. But this reminds me of like a puffy pillow. So that's going to be our little sentiment. I did that in the espresso. So let's move that out of the way. I think we're done with that one. Let's talk about the fun parts here, right? The die cuts. So you're going to get these to die cut with, and you're going to use this waffle looking die for the crumb cake. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to actually do these today. You're going to use the small little scoop here, and you're actually going to get 2 of those. I'm gonna stamp the cherries just so that I can show you how you're going to fit these onto this little piece of vanilla. This cherry is the cutest little cherry. Oh my goodness. We're going to stamp 2 of these because we need 2 per card, right? So you're gonna stamp this cute little cherry up at the top here, and then you're going to trim this off, and you're going to cut this in half because you're going to use the die cut. And I want to talk about the die cut real quick for this one. This little tiny is super tiny. It has a tiny little hole here at the top. It might not be really easy to see, but there's a little hole at the top. When you line up your cherry, you want to line up the body with the round part here, but you also want to see the tip of the stem through this little hole, and that's going to let you know that you actually have it lined up properly. So line up the body and then kind of rotate it until you can see red, if you're using red, and through that little hole. That's a trick to get your little cherries lined up really nicely. And then with this remaining piece here, you can see that we can die cut 2 scoops of ice cream. I would cut that in half before I run it through. So you're gonna get 1 on one side and 1 on the other. So I wanted to show you that. So when you get your kits at home, if you're watching this video back and you're like, how am I supposed to get all of these things out of this paper? And then the chocolate, this early espresso is supposed to be our little bit of chocolate. And there's this little die right here, and you're gonna die cut that. This one you don't have to stamp, so it's so easy. All right, so now by the magic of, right, because we're playing magic today, because I go through so much stuff and I don't want to be here for 2 hours with you guys. You get bored probably. This is what it's gonna look like after you die cut. So the first thing you're gonna get is this, and it's gonna have like a little waffly texture to it, and it's gonna have some score lines. So you're going to actually bend them in just like this, create that little waffle cone or ice cream cone, and it looks kind of like this. Now this actually sticks over a little bit, and if that bothered you, you could flip this over and trim it. I actually did that for this ice cream cone right here because I wanted it to be more uniform and not look like it was a waffle cone with the fold in it. Okay, so you can see the difference probably between these 2. Hopefully you can see the difference. One is sponged and one is not. So I really think that some sponging is in order. We're going to bring in crumb cake, and we're going to bring in a little dauber, and this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to flip it over. So this is the back, this was the front folded up, so this is the back side, and you're going to just take where the wings are, and you're going to add some color here on the edges of the wings, and kind of go down a little bit too. You can go down just a smidge, right? Don't worry about this section. It's not even going to show on your card. It's going to be glued down. So go over to the other wing on the other side now and kind of add some here. And then on the front, you're going to flip back over. Now you want to do the top because the top is going to show a little bit. So just do that top a little bit. And then when you put this back together, you can see what a difference that makes. And it really, it brings this together really nicely. So you do want to add a little bit of ink along the edges there. All right, now let's talk about assembling our waffle cones. So we had, let's see, I brought in the magic, right? I did earlier the vanilla, because vanilla, right? We don't want snow-colored white ice cream. We want vanilla, the good stuff. And I brought in a couple of cherries. So these are what they look like after they're die cut. Really cute. And the first thing we're going to do is actually we're going to glue our cone down. And you can just put a little bit of glue on this side and kind of stick that down. Let me see if I make sure I'm in the camera angle here. And I'm just going to put some glue here on this side and bring this over. And that way it's not over glued. And you may have to hold it down for a minute because we are using glue and it takes a second to set. But it still has that nice little, it's still open here, right? So we didn't go crazy with it. Let's do this one real quick too. So I'm going to glue this down here and a little bit here on this end. And I'm going to flip it over and just push on it for a second. And then we're going to scoop our little ice cream into the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. And then I'm going to tuck my ice cream. Just make sure you use the pretty side of your die cut facing forward. And I'm just going to tuck that in just enough so that it's inside but not down so far that it's like lost forever. So here's my little scoop of ice cream. And we're going to do the same thing again. Because we have 2 on our card. Now if you do this at home with your card kits, maybe you only want 1 per card, you can get more mileage. You could take another card base, you know, cut some more paper. It's going to be awesome. Now we're going to add the fudge. Like, the fudge is the best part. So again, I'm just putting a little bit of glue here at the top of the ice cream and layer that on there however you think it looks nice. It looks kind of funny really until you get the cherry on. I feel like at first when I put this on here, I'm like, what? Does this really go together? It's almost like a bad wig for half a second. And then it makes sense. After a bit, it makes sense. So I'm going to put those on there, and then I'm going to add the cherry. Now, I like to add the cherry right here where there's a little bit of an indent. I feel like it looks best there. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on each one and get the cherry right on top there. And how quick were these to put together? Like, these are so cute, right? These would make really cute little, like, Valentines if you're doing a bunch of them for kids, because I feel like they go together pretty quickly. You're die cutting and you're just assembling, not stamping. You're not trying to line things up, which is really nice, right? So let's bring in our card and we will finish this off. So I put tear and tape on this because it's going on the vellum and I wanted it to be kind of secured. So I'm going to take my first one. I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape on the back. And we're going to do this one down flat. Add a little bit of an angle. Oh, before I do this, I wanted to show you this. As I was like trying to line them up for my card, I thought if you line them up like this, it looks like a heart shape. Like, I still have hearts on the mind, right? So that kind of looks like a heart shape. I did offset mine a little bit after I realized that like they would look like a heart if you put them in the correct pattern. And I wasn't really going for Valentine's Day, but you know what? If you put these in a heart, they could totally be Valentine's Day. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the second one here. Let's see. My dimensionals should be on this side because it's gonna kind of kind of cross over here, so I just got to be careful with how it's going to be. I might want to scooch that down just a smidge. Yes, I think that'll be good. All right, I'm going to pop the backings off. It's always best to leave the backings on if you still want to do a little dry fitting, because once the backs come off, you're dry fitting and it's kind of sticking and then you're stuck. Like, you are done. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to line that up, just kind of crisscrossing there. And we're going to put some dimensionals here on our sentiment and pop that at the top. And card number 1 is almost in the books. So this stack, shuffle, repeat is a really fun technique. And when I was thinking about like, oh, I want to use some really fun designer series paper for this card because it is a fun card, I was like, oh, I should bring that technique back around again. I gotta tuck this down a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna have to angle this, I think. I should have put my, that's okay, I like it. I should have put my circle down a little bit lower. I think I had that up just a little bit higher on that one, but we're gonna angle that and come in at a little bit of an angle. Now let's come back in with these really cool opaques, because these come in, so you got white, you've got fresh freesia. This is, does it say? I'm not really sure what color this is because it doesn't look like a specific Stampin' Up color. This is, let's look in the book and see, page 12. I didn't look at that before. Oh, they're calling that Melon Mambo. Gorgeous grape. Melon Mambo. Doesn't look as Melon Mambo-y as I would have thought. Now, I used the Melon Mambo on here, and it's like almost leaning into red. So I don't feel like that's a true Melon Mambo. Melon Mambo is more pink. I'm looking at my Melon Mambo. I'm going to go purple, though, on this one. I'm going to change it up, and I want to use some of these really big purpley ones. So we're gonna change it up this time. Looking to see which ones did I use on here before. Sizes. So there's different sizes here. You've got some super tiny ones, and then you've got like medium ones, and you've got the larger ones, which is really nice. There's a lot of these on here too, and these are really good colors for your Valentine's Day cards. So of course, ice cream cards, right? So here we go. There is my first card. You're the cherry on top. What do you think? Purple or Melon Mambo better? I do like the purple on there. So there we go. That is card number 1. Now when you get your kits, you are actually going to have the parts and pieces also to do 2 cards, so you can change them up. You're going to have different designer series paper. And I talked to you earlier about like, well, what if you don't have cherry on top? What can you do with this card kit? Well, here is a really awesome example of what you can do with this card kit. So this card right here is the same components minus the ice cream. So on this card I put down, of course, my designer series paper in the back. I used my vellum circle behind the petal pink circle, and I stamped on it, and I used this little combination of cherry cobbler and fresh freesia, and I put it across the circle. So up here, it's up here. So I kind of just took this section and put it right over here, and I made a really sweet happy birthday card. Now this has the white little dots on it, and I just think that's the cutest birthday card. So this is, again, this is the punch that I'm using with this card kit, and it comes from the Lovely and Lasting stamp set. This does come as a bundle. So it has the outline, which did a really nice job on this punched piece, and the happy birthday came from there as well. And then these fun little flowers, I just did petal pink on petal pink. So if you don't want to make ice cream cards, but you want to put it in order and you want to get some card kits, you can do things like this. You can get creative and change it up. And I really love this birthday card. I think that's a fun birthday card. So I wanted to share that with you as card number 1, and we're wrapping up card number 1. And we are going to swing right into the next card. Let me move some of my dimensional backings out of the way. And we're bringing in the next card kit. And I think my fans of purple are going to be really excited that we are working with purple. So again, you're going to get 2 card kits. And you're going to get all the things in here. You're going to get 2 envelopes. I'm going to set aside some of the things we don't need. I'm only making 1 with you. So you're going to get your thick white base. You are going to get fresh freesia layer and a white layer. And this is with the, I'm going to emboss this for you with the gingham embossing folder. So that's where that comes from. Check out this cute little layer right here. I love this. So gingham embossing folder with some gingham paper, right? And I die cut this one with the scallops and contours dies. So that's going to come die cut for you. I'm die cutting this little piece. You're going to get some ribbon with this one. This one is fun because you're going to also be getting some really fancy papers. Check out this shiny purple paper. Like, whoa, shiny paper. Check out this really cool blue paper. This is actually, feels like kind of almost corrugated and shiny at the same time. That's balmy blue. And I'm just kind of like throwing together, I'm separating here as we go so I can kind of see, like, we got 2 of these, 1 of those, and I'm going to set aside an entire kit because we don't need it. And we are going to celebrate with ice cream. So this is going to be our finished card. Also super fun. Now that shiny paper is a specialty paper. And there are 2 of them. And you may not have seen them in the catalog because sometimes we ooh and ah over all of the different stamp sets and all the different dies and all those different things. And then we kind of forget to look at things like paper. So this is actually some shimmer paper, and we're using the fresh freesia, but there's also the soft succulent and a gold. And I think you get 2 sheets of each. 2 sheets of each. Yes, you do. So it's obviously very shiny metallic-y, but it's also soft. It's not like a harsh, like it's not like something's going to come off and be crazy glittery, which is really nice. And that is called Fine Shimmer Paper. That's in the Sale-A-Bration book. Now this blue paper is also in here, and it's called Textured Shimmer Paper. And you know I love colors, and you know I love paper, and I'm also a big fan of patterns and things like that, like the texture. So this is, I'm going to flip it back over. So this is the front. This is the balmy blue that we're using. And it's got like little ridges in it. This one is, I believe this is white. It's almost got like a nice little sheen to it. I'm thinking Mother's Day, Easter cards. Oh, First Communion card would be fantastic with that. And then we've got this really pretty, I'm thinking this is shaded spruce. Shaded spruce, balmy blue, and white. Yes. Okay. I knew my colors today. I can graduate to 1st grade. Okay, good. So this is the card that we're making next. I'm going to bring back in my little trimmer because I'm going to score my card base. Do you guys use trimmers for your card base scoring, or do you use a scoring tool, or do you just flip your paper over and go with it with the bone folder by hand? I would love to know who does what. Which ones do you like to do? I used to just fold it in half and just kind of go for the best. And then when I realized that my trimmer had a really nice score feature on it, And I could actually line it up a little bit easier and get a little bit straighter of an edge. I totally decided to go with my trimmer instead. So the first things we're going to do, super simple. We're going to just glue down this gingham. And of course, this is one where you're going to look at the embossed and the debossed pattern, right? To decide which side you want to have up. And I didn't even look. I'm just flying into it. I'm like, one of these sides is going down. Okay, so that's going on there straight. And then we've got this really nice white layer. And you could actually stamp on this. I actually, my original card, when I played with this a little bit, I took the hearts and I took fresh freesia and I did a pattern all over with purple. So my first card had purple hearts behind it and it was really, really cute, but it was also a little busy for me. Like, okay, I like a lot of layers, I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes too busy is too busy. So I'm keeping mine just nice and white. It's a really good resting space for your eyes. When you're looking at a card, you do want to have something that's not busy. And they call that resting space. Like your eyes need a little break, right? So this white right here is just a really nice resting space because you've got a pattern paper, you've got a lot going on to look at. You've got some shiny papers, the whole element here with the milkshake is super busy, right? So we want to just have a little bit of a break in there somewhere. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this beautiful, I love this purple shimmer paper. Now the back side of this is white, right? So obviously it is one-sided. So you know which side you want to have facing up because, you know, if you wanted to use white paper, you would just use white paper. Why waste the beautiful shine? All right, now this one's going to be our sentiment. This one's going to be some die cutting. I'm setting aside die cutting so that I can talk to you about what's going to get die cut. And basically, if you don't have the milkshake card kit, this is what you've got. You've got a sentiment piece. You've got a little bit of a blue thing here. You could, and of course, your little bow, right? So you could make a card just with this, and you could add something. Maybe you could put a flower on here. This would be really cute with a daisy punch. So you could definitely do something different with this card kit besides the milkshake option. So I always like to give you ideas. So if you're getting these card kits, you're like, what am I going to do with that? That might be one thing that you're going to do. So let's leave that aside and let's talk about our die cuts for this lovely milkshake. And this is really cool. So I do want to share with you like all of the fun stamping things. So there are actually two stamps. Probably better to see it here, Julie. There's like a background stamp for the milkshake mug, right? And then there's one that actually gives you a little bit more texture. I'm doing this in balmy blue, so I'm gonna look through my stamp pads over here and find balmy blue. So I'm gonna just go ahead and ink this one up, and I'm gonna put this on this one right here. Ooh, I went kind of low on that, but I'm not going to die cut that right now, so that's okay. So this is what it's going to look like if you don't do anything else. Like that's it, you're good to go. But we've got this really great feature where you can ink again, same color, and then you go over the top of it, and these are photopolymers, so they're a little bit easier to line up. I've also found that if you don't line it up well, it die cuts, and you'll never know that you're off a little bit. But see how it's got that second layer? It kind of adds some lines and some different things in there. So that's a really cool feature. Oops. And that is our little milkshake glass right there. And I did that in the balmy blue. And then on this paper, we are going to do a cherry because we have to make sure we get a cherry in there. And of course, if you have this stamp set and you have the dies, you could add multiple cherries if you so desire. And of course, cherries have to be done in cherry cobbler. I cannot think of any reason you would not want to do that in cherry cobbler. All right, so over here, and this is kind of a fun one because we're using a lot of different colors on here. We've got multiple pinks and reds going on with all this purple, so it's a really cool card. This is the blushing bride, and I'm looking for the poofy ice cream that kind of looks like it could be a cloud. So we're going to do our pink cloud of ice cream on that paper. And one more color. We're going to bring in Sweet Sorbet. And it's kind of nice to be able to mix up all of these colors because you don't want to use like the same reds and pinks over and over again. Then your card looks a little bit like styled like too much, like too matchy, right? So we have this combination of blushing and Sweet Sorbet and cherry cobbler. And of course they'll go really well together. They don't clash, but they're all different shades, and it's nice to have those different shades. Check out how cute that little straw is. Now I did 2 of them because you're going to see in my card here, I've got one in front and one in back. So the straw I did in the Sweet Sorbet. I might need to clean off my puffy cloud of ice cream because we are using this guy up in the next card too. Okay. So by the magic, right? So I did this earlier, so it's like magical. I'm taking all of these pieces and I stamped them, and here they are die cut. So this nice early espresso is going to give you your chocolate fudge sundae topping here. And check out this. This is so cool. So this puffy little cloud, using the puffy cloud die. I'm going to call it puffy cloud. This is the die right here. It's got this little slit in it right here, this little line, and it actually allows you to tuck things into it. So I would put the pointy end of the straw kind of in because it's not like flat. So this little line right here, you can see you can tuck things in all the way through. I didn't have to cut that or anything. So you can tuck in your spoon, you can tuck in your straw, and that's how we're tucking this in on this one. So isn't that the coolest thing ever? I love this. Now all of them will come out this way. You can't avoid that little slit, so you have to keep that in mind as you're working onward with it. But there's a die here to cut out this nice milkshake glass. I already talked about the cherry die, and of course we use this one already too, and that was our little topping for the sundae. So now we've got all of these things magically pretended to be die cut, and we can go ahead and finish assembling our milkshake glass here. And we're going to put this together on my mat here so that it's anything we're doing that's sticky will stay right here. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue at the top of the glass because this is going to come down in. Now I have my straw tucked in here already, and this is just going to come down a little bit over the top and just kind of be like that. And if I flip this over, okay, so the straw is already behind this glass. If it wasn't, you might want to add like a little extra glue to reinforce that. And now we're going to come in along the top here. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and we're going to put on our delicious chocolate hot fudge sundae topping. Maybe this is the magic shell. We talked about that today too. That was fun. All right, now on this one, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the back here, and I'm going to just pick up my straw. Now remember how I said one of these, if I can pick up my straw, one of these sides kind of ends in a point. Now the die cut is completely rectangular, but the stamp itself has a little point on one end. So I'm going to keep the pointy end kind of facing down so that the straight end is facing up, if you will. So that's kind of just manipulate that on there. And of course we got to add on our little cherry coming right over here. I don't know if that's enough glue. We might need a little bit more glue. All right, and here's the whole assembly. Again, really super cute and fun, right? Now, of course, you can do your glass, you can do your ice cream in different colors. I just picked these colors because it looked really nice with the fresh freesia. So let's bring in our little rectangle here, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue this. I'm looking to make sure. Yep, I'm just gluing this down here. Now, I'm taking advantage of the nice little stitched layer here on here, and I'm actually kind of lining up the glass bottom with that stitched layer, and I'm keeping this off to the side here just like so. So it just really goes nicely together. And we're going to put this on the back, on the front of our card, not the back of our card. We're going to put this on the front by putting dimensionals on the back. I guess maybe that's where I was going with that thought before it completely formed in my head. All right, so 5 of those. And sweet purpley color. I love this color. And we want to make sure, okay, we are doing everything in the correct manner here, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. Again, I'm keeping it a little bit over here toward the right because I'm going to put my sentiment and my little bow here. Now let's talk about the sentiment. We have Celebrate, because I think this is a really good card for Celebrate. Do I have out Fresh Freesia ink? I do not. Okay. Quick grab, and here it is, Fresh Freesia and Celebrate. Let's see here. I'm going to keep this over this way. Now when I send you these papers, These are actually scraps for me. I keep a whole bin of these scraps. So anything that's like a 1/2 inch is really just, that's been scrap paper for me. So I send you a lot of it. So you can kind of manipulate it a little bit if you need to. In fact, we're going to do a little bit of manipulating right now. We're going to kind of trim the edging. We're going to go this way. Okay, we're going to notch that. And maybe I don't want that quite that long. I could have gone over a little bit further. I don't want this to take up too much of my card, right? I want to be able to see plenty of good stuff on there. Now that's really cute just like that, but I do like the blue on here too. So I'm actually going to notch this end too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these two up. So they're each a 1/2 inch. I'm going to line these up so that the tip of the white paper lines up with the top corner here, just like that. So it's fully like flush together, and I'm going to use that cut line as kind of a pattern, and I'm just going to cut my blue paper just like that so that I have the same angle. So you could angle them like this now and the angle would be exactly the same, so you don't have to like guess. But I'm actually going to flip this over. Now this is nice because this paper, unlike the shiny purple paper, this paper is exactly the same front and back. So I'm going to flip it this way and I'm going to go this way. So I'm keeping the flat edge of the blue here and having the angle come over here on my glass, and I'm keeping this going in this direction. So I've got kind of opposite effect going on. Now of course this is just how I'm putting the card together. You can certainly feel free to do whatever you like. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue here along the top of this balmy blue, and then I'm going to layer the white one just a little bit on here like that. So I kind of got them hooked together before they go on my card front. And I'm going to bring in a dimensional because the this little rectangle's popped up. I'm gonna just put this on the back of this piece right here. So one end will be popped up a little bit, and I'm gonna put some glue there because that's gonna hit my designer paper over this way, and I'm just gonna line this up right about there. So my dimensional's here, and then the rest of it is resting here across, nice and flat. I like when it's all nice and flat, and there's a scrap of paper in there. There we go. Nice and flat, just like that, right? Now we have to take our fresh freesia ribbon. We're gonna make a little bow. Now this isn't like a ton of ribbon, so don't get crazy. Little bow, please. And we're going to, I say a little bow, and let's see what happens. I've been very generous with ribbon lately, and I'm like, man, I gotta tone this down. Sometimes we don't need all the ribbon. Now watch, I'm not gonna be able to make a bow today. This is the day. Live class. Everybody's having a good time. I hope you're all enjoying your ice cream while I struggle to make a bow today. I got this. This is it. I got it. Here we go. There's my little bow. Now I'm going to pull the ends back this way because I really don't want a huge bow. There's not room for a huge bow. So like, don't waste the ribbon if you're making a small bow, right? All right, here we go. I probably want my nice scissors. We're going to just trim a little bit here, trim a little bit here. Beautiful. And this is going to go down right here. See, just the right size. It's just a nice, cute little bow. Why not? I got tear and tape out. I'm just going to throw some tear and tape on the back of it. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add some really adorable sprinkles to this card. And then this guy is going to be beautiful and complete. So there we go. Celebrate. I think this would be a really great birthday card for sure. And we need to find the sprinkles. Now what's really nice about this pack of embellishments, if you see here on my finished card, the tiny little embellishments look like sprinkles. I thought that was so cool. So I'm actually going to take like one of each, at least one of each. So there's the dark purple. Kind of hard to see that one. There's our melon. Here's a light purple. And I'm going to put a white one on there. I think I'm good there. I actually used more on the first card. But there you go. Look at how cute. How cute are those little sprinkles on there? Like, it's just fun. It's these fun little elements really that make this card fantastic. Now again, you're getting 2 of these in your card kits. So you'll be able to make 2 of these cards or 2 of whatever kind of card you desire from this card kit in the mail. All right, let me clean up real quickly, just briefly, throw down some stuff here. We're going to move on to our last card. Hopefully you're still with me, you're hanging out and having a good time. This is our last card kit, And this is our last card of the day. Now again, super heavy on the ice cream because this kit is all about milkshakes and ice cream and all the yummy things, right? But this is a different color palette. I don't think you think of pool party and blue so much with ice cream. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But let's just check out and see everything that's kind of come in your card kit. You get, again, the 2 envelopes, 2 card bases, and one of all these things. So this is Bermuda Bay, that's a punched piece. This is going to be for your spoon. And then we've got, of course, we've got all these different pieces that will be die cut in different manners. If you have the correct dies to do so, you're going to get some really cute little twine. Let's talk about the twine for a hot second. If I can find it. Here it is. This is called 3 Twine Combo Pack, and I use this the Bermuda Bay in there. And then, of course, it's got some, I think it's Mossy Meadow and Pumpkin Pie, and it's a different kind of twine pack. This looks summery to me. I know this catalog ends in April, but I feel like it could carry into summer. All right, so this is the twine, a little bit of espresso. You're getting this nice die cut was done with the basic borders dies. So I used this die right here, and I cut the strip of white paper here. And you're getting some, of course, some designer series paper. Now, what's fun about this one, I don't know if you're like super into the greens. That's a lot of green to me, like kind of green on green on green. But I love this. I love this paper right here, this pattern. I just was really excited to try to use that one. So let's go ahead and shift some things around, because the first thing we're going to do is score our card base. And we're just going to bring this in real quick. Line it up at 4 1/4. Scoring blade, not the cutting blade. That's like the most important thing to remember. Don't use the cutting blade, or you're going to have 2 pieces of paper instead of a folded card base. Ask me how I know this. Has anyone raised your hand if you've ever done that before? Like, I meant to score it, but I cut it. I have done that a time or two myself, and I'm like, what in the heck was I thinking? Okay, so again, we got some nice layers here. So again, you can make a really nice card with these kits, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with ice cream. I think right now this could be a masculine card. I just like these blues together a lot. This is not like the most feminine cut, but it's not necessarily the most masculine cut either, so I can't help you there. But we're going to add this on next. This is just going to go on flat. Of course, if you wanted to add dimensionals on, you certainly could. I just like to give it a nice bright palette here. Let me bring in my original card so you can kind of see where we're going again. So we've got this, this is just kind of a layering piece here for our card. So again, you've got some different things that you could work with, and you could create a card. You've got some extra pieces here that you could punch or stamp on. So if you don't have the ice cream set and you want to do something different, you totally could take it in a different direction. And we are going to talk a little bit next about what we've got going on here. So this is a nice anchor piece here. I'm just going to bring that in, kind of show you where we're going. So this one right here is Blushing Bride, and it's meant to die cut this little waffle piece right here. Kind of looks like waffles. It is really wild because to be fair, when you're doing this, you may want to be collecting all of the little pieces that come out, because every little square that you see here is a die cut. It would be great for confetti, but it does make a mess. It's very tiny and delicate, definitely hard to glue down, so it's going to be something that you're going to want to tuck behind something else, but you're definitely going to, and which is what we're going to do here. We're going to kind of hold that behind there as we go. So that's that die cut. So that takes care of that one. We're going to stamp some ice cream on there. We're going to talk about the really fun bowl. Love the bowl. A sentiment. You've got a piece of silver, the silver foil, and if you have the dies, you are going to be able to die cut a tiny little spoon, and that is, of course, right here in this die set. You've got a little spoon, and let's do a little bit of stamping so I can show you how I got to these colors for my ice cream. All right, we're going to bring in that puffy cloud ice cream stamp again, and we're going to start with Petal Pink. Petal Pink is going to be our vanilla. And you might be like, what? How is Petal Pink vanilla? This is the vanilla ice cream, and I'm telling you it's actually Petal Pink. We're going to stamp off those, so I need to stamp this off somewhere. I'm going to go off to the side and stamp that off, and I'm going to stamp on here. And now you're going to see it's just a really soft color. You can barely see it, right? Which is what vanilla should look like. So that's petal pink. You want to stamp off for your petal pink. Get that nice and light. Of course, for strawberry, we're bringing back in the Blushing Bride. We're going to just go right into strawberry next. So here are ice cream scoop number 2. And then for the chocolate, we have to go with early espresso. It's the only dark color that we have that really works for chocolate. And if you have some old color, like chocolate chip would have been the perfect color for the chocolate. Maybe we'll get a new brown when the new colors come out. But we're going to do early espresso. So you're going to see on your paper here, you've got your 3 scoops of ice cream. And we are going to, of course, die cut them with the die, just like we did before. And you're going to get 3 scoops, 1, 2, 3, just like this. And again, they're all going to have that little slot in there. So when you're putting them together, you have to be careful to kind of like hide that if you don't want that to be obvious that it's on each one. So that's a little trick that we're going to take care of as we're assembling. We are going to, I'm going to move that back out again. I need to do the little ice cream bowl. This is very similar to the first one that we did. We're going to do this one in Pool Party, where it's two stamps that go together and create a nice little bowl. So you've got 2 different stamps. Probably would be easier to show you on here. Okay, so you have this one, which is the outline, and then you have this one, which goes in on top of it. So just like these 2 went together to create our bigger ice cream mug, this is the 2 that go together for this little bowl. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that down in Pool Party. So again, we're getting that solid image. And without stamping off or anything, I'm just taking this next one and I'm going to come right over top and line it up as best I can. Now it's kind of off-centered, but when you die cut it, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. So it's kind of cool that it gives you extra images in there, and that becomes the little bowl piece to hold our ice cream. The last bit of stamping we're going to do is our sentiment. Let's see, did I mount that one? I might not have mounted that one. Life is sweeter with you. I need to get that one out. Wow, it's the only one I didn't get out. I had everything mounted today. I was like all proud of myself. I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm ahead of schedule. So while I'm mounting this, let's just talk about the photopolymer stamps. They're very easy to kind of manipulate and bend. So if you want it to kind of relax before you put it on your block, just set it down with the side facing up that you're going to hit your block with, and then just pick it up like that. And usually by setting it down, it relaxes and you're not manipulating it and getting weird shapes out of it, unless of course that was your intention to begin with. And we're going to just stamp this on here. Again, I'm using the Early Espresso. Life is sweeter with you. Now, if you're looking at my sample card, you may notice my sentiment's a little different over here. And that's because we're going to get choppy with some scissors. All right, but first ice cream. But first ice cream should be our motto. Okay, so die cut that. It looks like that. Die cut all the ice cream. Yep, we got all the ice cream. Now this is where we're going to get creative, because we don't want all of these slots to show. And it might be easier to like kind of help that to open up a little bit. To take your pick tool fits in there perfectly before you put your your spoon in there, because otherwise sometimes you're jamming it in a little bit. And I actually did that earlier, and I kind of bent my spoon. Can you imagine bending a spoon in ice cream? Like, who would do that? I bent my spoon as I was putting it into my ice cream. It's a true story. I guess it happens on paper too. So if you work on that slot a little bit, it will go in there nicer, and then your spoon won't have that cracky bend in it like my first one did. True story. The things I say, like, they just come out naturally. So I hope you're enjoying some of my humor. All right, we're going to start stacking up our ice cream. And I'm trying to remember how I did this. I'm stuck on bent ice cream spoons. Okay, we're going to go this way, and we've got our spoon in there. We're going this way. So basically you're kind of hiding the things. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on here and start playing. So this is my, the little slots right here. I'm putting some glue here. I want this to kind of cover up, maybe. And the glue is nice because you got the wiggle room, right? So you can wiggle this a little bit. And then we're going to bring this one in here, and we're going to cover up that little slot right there with the pink. And you're just creating a nice little mountain of ice cream, right? Man, Ice cream's sounding really good. All right, so there we go. I got my little mountain of ice cream. My little, oops, oh goodness sakes. I probably should hold that for a second because, you know, it's not going to stay. Now on the back of the spoon, I'm going to just bend this over. I'm bending the ice cream, not the spoon handle. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there and then help to hold that down. And the whole thing is going to overflow my bowl here in just a second. So I'm going to add some glue here along the top of my bowl. And then I'm going to put this on here. And there is my big, fancy, delicious looking. Look at how cute that is. I really like this set. I started playing with it this week in preparation for the card class. And oh my gosh, like it was just, this is some sets, I'm not going to lie, some sets I struggle with, like, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to use this? This one was one where the ideas were like kind of flowing really well because it was just, it was fun. It was fun to play with this one. All right, let's do some chopping here. We're gonna just cut this right up. Looking to make sure this is where you don't have to worry too much about, you know, being fancy. We're just gonna get as close to the words as we can, and they're all coming apart, every one of them. And you can go back and kind of recut if you need to. Oops, I must have some glue on my finger. It's sticky. Okay, sweeter. So there's my sweeter, just like that. And that actually fits nicely on the black here. The black. It's early espresso. I'm gonna maybe, nope, I can't even. I'm good. All right, with you is coming up next. We're gonna just trim both of those, and we're gonna cut with you apart. Now the with you, the life is sweeter with you. The life is, and the with you part is what I meant to say. If you don't cut those as straight, it's okay because it's going white on white and it's not as noticeable. The sweeter is something that looks a little bit crooked, has the tendency, let me say that, has the tendency to look crooked because it's going to be showcased on early espresso, and therefore you're really going to notice what is going on with it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this this little waffle lattice and we're going to kind of angle it this way, and we're going to bring in a little bit of tape just to hold it down until we get some other things in there to hold it down, because again, this is not something that you are going to want to try to attempt to glue. So I'm just going to put that there because this is going to come over here just like this, and it's going to cover that. Before we do that, we're going to put down this, and this is going to come right about here, and let me just make sure you're dry fitting as you go, because it's always nice to like look at it and assess and kind of decide where you really want it to go on your card. Now this piece of espresso is the same width, it's 4 inches, same width as the designer paper, and I kind of like having the bottom peak just a little bit there, so I left a little bit of that there. We're going to look for dimensionals, and we're looking for dimensionals in this messy, oh my gosh. I should have somebody record me from behind at some point so you guys can see what is going on in my craft room. All right, we're gonna bring in some scraps today because I don't even know where my dimensionals were, and they were a brand new sheet. You guys saw that, right? When I started out, I was all excited. I was like, look, a brand new sheet of dimensionals, and now I can't even find them. I mean, they're here, they're just buried. We're gonna go with edges, and we're gonna just take the backs off. Edges work just as good, of course, right? And make sure our ice cream is facing up. I really needed to make sure my card is opening in the correct manner also. All right, so we're gonna put our ice cream right there. Then we're gonna line up our little Life is Sweeter. Hopefully I haven't lost those too. Crafty messes are always the best, right? So you should have just enough room. I probably should have mentioned this. You should have just enough room to get your sweeter in there before it hits where you're going to put your little circle there, okay? So I've got with you right here. Pretty sure Life is might be this one. That's awesome. Okay, Life is Sweeter with You. Now this one could be a Valentine's Day card. This could be an anniversary card. This could be a You're My Best Friend card. You could throw a gift certificate to go get ice cream in a card like this. Like, how fun would that be, right? Let's go get ice cream. Go to the Dairy Queen. Go to your local places. So much fun. Life is sweeter with you. And you can change those up. You can be really whimsical and tilt those a little bit if you want to as well. But here is, oh, we need our little bow. We need our little tempting, what is this tempting card? I'm really tired tonight, so I'm a little bit kind of goofy. This is Bermuda Bay. Tempting turquoise takes us back a bit, doesn't it? Okay, we have just enough here to create a cute little bow. I'm going to pop that on with a glue dot, and I can find my glue dots, so that's really nice. Now don't forget, if you're interested in getting these card kits in the mail, they will mail out next Tuesday. Monday will be a holiday. There will be no mail on Monday. I try to get them in the mail Monday. Tuesday if not. So this is going out on Tuesday, these card kits. You get 2 of each in the mail with your qualifying order. Oh, so cute. And then we need some bling here. I don't know. Should I try purple? Should I go really rogue and try purple? I'm going to sample it and see if I like the purple on here. Like, if I hold it on my spatula like this, oh, I think I do like it. So this is, I used the white on here because I wasn't sure. So I actually put one right here, kind of between one of these little waffle slats. And I put that down there. But you know what? I'm going to go purple. I'm going to change it up. And change it up a little bit here in the oh, I kind of like the purple. This is cute. This is really cute. I'm going to try to put it in here again, and you're going to notice it better this time. So look how cute that fits right in that little opening there where the waffle is. Now this pops up a little bit, so it kind of goes with that flow. This is fun. This was a fun card. So what do you like better, white bling or purple bling? I know you purple guys are like, oh, purple. So there we have it. Card kits are done. And I know this class went a little long, but we did talk about a really cool paper technique with this really awesome swapping of the designer series paper. So again, here's a look at all of the cards. I would love to know which one is your favorite. Purple people are going to love the purple, I'm thinking. But I really like this one because, I don't know, they're really fun. So really fun card kits. That is the class of the week. And we did it. And this was kind of a longer class, so thanks for hanging in there with me. If you guys are enjoying, I see Karen's on. Hi from the Cape. Oh, good. Jess got her bingo prize. That's awesome. And she likes the purple. Yeah, the bingo prizes went out last week, I think. I've been staying on top of it and sending out your prizes accordingly. So everyone everyone that played bingo and won a prize, you should have gotten prizes by now. So let me know if you haven't, because I'll have to check on some mail tracking. So that's the card class, the weekly card class from Maine. That's our card class from Maine. Again, this card class is available through Friday evening at midnight with your qualifying order. If you need the host code, I can give that to you. I've been emailing it. I will put it in the messages here too. You can grab those card kits, 6 card kits for your order. Like, that's banging value right there. And you can create whatever you want with them. You've already got the cutting done. You've got some die cutting, some punching. You've got designer series paper that you probably don't have at home. You got all these things that you can pull together easily and quickly. A little stamping, a little assembly, and you've got some really gorgeous cards. So I'm trying to take the work out of it for you. And of course, I want you to order so you can get some new products in to try out and take those kits to even better and bigger levels. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this card class. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know if you have any questions on it, and I would be gladly answering them for you. Check us out on Positive Paper Crafters on Wednesday, because I have to do a color swap card, and you know, it's going to be fun too. So that's it for me. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great evening, and until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye.